Welcome to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. This show is all about honoring you as a spiritual being, having a human experience. You are here for a reason, and it's no mistake that you are here on Earth right now. Spirit has guided you to this very moment in time, so you could hear the messages Pam is about to share with you. She is a multidimensional healer, light language channel, transformation coach, wife and mother, committed to helping you discover the tools and practices to empower you to live the best life you can. You get to choose the spirit path you take. You can connect to the spiritual guidance already all around you. Get ready to live a fully empowered life. This is the Empower Me Show.
Welcome back to the Empower Me Show. My name is Pam Bright, and I am your host for this program. I'm so glad that you tuned in once again. Welcome to this hour of transformation, introspection, and really inspiration from all of the guidance that we all are receiving today. And I am here with my dear friend and colleague, Miss Arlene. Hello, Arlene. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you are here.
Thanks so much, Pam.
Yay. So we are all about transformation between Arlene and myself. We have been doing this work for a very, very long time. This work called transformation. Now, you can call it all kinds of things, but we really look at our lives as a transformational platform and really connecting in with all of who we are and all of what we're here to do in this lifetime. From the very small amount of time that I have spent with Arlene, it feels like lifetimes that since we have been connected. So welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here, Arlene.
Thank you.
Yes. So we are going to start by doing a meditation. That's always what I do to start because it helps me definitely to get centered in on my day, centered in with you. And it helps me to release anything that's happened before right now so that I can just have all of my energies focused on this moment in time with you who are listening to this broadcast. So welcome once again. If you're in a position where you can close your eyes and you can focus on your breathing, then do that. If you need to be focused on something else, either work or children or driving, definitely, then please stay alert and listen to the sound of my voice and know that you will receive exactly what you need during our time together. So, as we focus in on this moment is really all that we have. This is it. This is the only moment that exists. And right now, and right now, and right now, it always comes back to right now. So in this moment, allow yourself to just focus on the breath. The breath within our physical bodies really brings in the sustenance that we need to stay alive. As we focus on our breathing, we can allow ourselves to also connect in with everything around us, everything that exists around us, whether it's our home, or outside in nature, in our vehicles, if we're in a vehicle, whatever your surroundings are, you can focus in with, even with your eyes closed, to what is around you. And as I am focusing in on what's around me right now, I'm also aware of different sounds, different feelings on my body. I'm feeling the fan that is helping with the heat in my home. So I'm feeling that fan moving the air around. I'm feeling the tastes that are in my mouth, and I'm smelling the air. I'm feeling the crystal that I'm holding here in my hand, tasting the water that I just drank. So really become aware right now of whatever's going on for you. You might tune into your body and feel if there's any tension going on, if there's any pain anywhere that is ready to be sloughed off and released. As we become aware, we realize that we are much more than we think we are. Only when I pause and reflect on my surroundings do I realize how vast my experience as human being is. So as I connect to the human being that I am, I also connect to the God that I am, the divine that lives and breathes and has its being in me and all around me. And so I invite you to also connect into that divine energy, that sacredness of the moment, knowing that as you do that, you are connecting to your support structures that are already in place, even if you might not even know that they exist. Just saying yes to them right now allows you to open to the expanse of support that is ready for you to receive. So I also connect in with Mama Gaia, the Earth Mother, and ask her for her support. We live on her every day. That's how we have our existence as human beings. And yet, sometimes we take her for granted and assume that she has no existence, she has no life, she has no energy, she has no beingness. If she didn't exist, she didn't have source energy, then there would be no way to receive what she has to give us. So I'm now connecting in with her, asking for her aid in my well-being. I invite you to do the same now. Also connecting in with all of the beings in what we call the heavens or the sky beings, the beings of the galaxies, the stars and the planets, the Milky Way, all of the in-between, the dark matter and the light matter in the world. Take all of that in right now as you're breathing into your body system. And I'm going to use some light language to just ground that right in to who you're being right now. Anasade itara petu papayete badei. One sana manayeta nakia baye umbaye dumea. Ke umana sana ma ena na sena na eke mama ye. One sana ye da de kuma. Ona sane om. And just gather all of that yummy energy back into you now, inviting it all in, saying thank you, thank you, thank you for the support. And when you're ready, you can take a breath and come back to this moment and open your eyes. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, Arlene, to the show. Thank you for being here now with us. And I'd like to start with let's go backwards. Let's go back to the time or the times in your life when you first remember what we would call waking up or having an idea that there might be more to life than what you're seeing around you right now. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, I came from a family that was quite religious. So I grew up in the church, and there was the Methodist church. And I found a lot of my sense of spirituality there. And then I moved on and ended up marrying a man who was in seminary. And so I became a minister's wife for 35 years and delved into a lot of things. And wherever we were, I developed a spirituality group because I wanted to know more. And I didn't think the church gave me what I needed. I mean, it did, but as a starting place, but it did not allow me to go where I needed to go. And one day, there was a person invited to our church to teach about meditation. And as soon as she opened her mouth and started talking, I went, whew, I've been waiting for this. And as a result, I started attending a lot of what she was doing. And she finally said, you might as well get into our training program. And so I did. And I spent 2 years to be trained as a spiritual guide and healing facilitator. And I love that title because I don't believe in gurus. I believe that we're helping people find their own way inside themselves. And for me, then I began to create what I call transformational tools. And I started pretty much with color because I was fascinated by it. And in my mentor's library was a book that was out of print. And it talked to me about using complementary colors, which if you look at a color wheel, they're across from each other on the color wheel. And as I delved into that and went further even than what was in the book, I began to realize that it was part of what I was here for. So I developed a way of using that I call complementary color therapy. And I have been using that. Well, I started my work in 1995. So I have been using that for many, many years. I trained some people on it at one point. It has become somewhat more simplified because I think we get into that inner world a lot faster than we used to. And then I developed a number of courses. One of them is dealing with masculine and feminine energy, but they all have to do with finding the unity within us, the wholeness of who we are. And on the website, we have 3 things that are really, truly say what this is. And that is discover your true self, experience long-lasting healing, live from your authenticity. So everything that we're here for is a part of that. And all of the tools are different aspects of how to come to that. And then more recently, I have found a theme in my life. It's been coming for a long time, and now is its right time. And it has to do with the inside and outside world. And you were asking me earlier before we started about energies that I experience. And what I experience from a lot of people, including the ones that have been with me for a long time, and myself sometimes too, is that there's so much chaos in the outside world that it's very difficult sometimes to find the core of who we are and be able to live from that and have our emphasis be there. And I was thinking a lot about that. And what I felt was that we do not have to be defined by all of what is the chaos in the outside world. For me, it's like bringing up stuff that always has been and needs to finally be going. Because I think we're in the process of flipping this whole thing over and coming to a place where we can be who we truly are in a world that's very loving and very unified. So what I've been doing now is seeing that everything I've been doing this whole time is part of this theme. And one of the questions that I ask, I'm starting to do classes on and courses on this, but one of the questions I ask is, what would your life be like if we kept, or what would our life be like if we kept our attention and focus on the inside world and then observed and acted in the outside world from that inner perspective?
I love that. I love that so much. And it really, I believe that that's the core. That's what we get to do as spiritual beings having a human experience, is that I just recently watched The Karate Kid again.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And that was 1983, I think, is when that came out. And it was part of the homework assignment for a course that I'm taking through Landmark Education. And it's so brilliant. It's such a brilliant film. And they talk, Mr. Miyagi, who is the teacher or the coach for this young man, has a bonsai tree. And Daniel was asking, how do you make these? And Mr. Miyagi said, close your eyes and see what you want to see with the bonsai tree. See your bonsai tree. And then open your eyes. And he gave him another bonsai tree that hadn't been shaped yet. And he said, now, remember what you saw and then make it. And that right there is a lot of how we manifest in the world. That's what I learned, is visualize first, then create. And the inner work that we get to do, that's how we get to clear away all of the excess of what isn't our vision. And so that's, to me, what I hear when you're talking about our inner world versus our outer world. And I think,
excuse me, go ahead.
Oh, I think, and you can tell me if this is something that you experience as well. I think that the reason that our world is in chaos, if you will, and doesn't quite match our visions is because not everyone is committed to that inner vision. Wouldn't you say that that is your experience?
Well, it's not only that, they haven't found their true self because they're living from greed and power. And that is very much a human thing, but not founded in the true self. The true self is here for service. The true self is here because we have a reason that we're here. And we want to live that out. And what I find is that people who are in depression or people who are having such a hard time, it's because they're not living from there, because we're wired to live from there. And what you said also is so true. And that is, there are so many things that have stood in the way of us really finding that true self. We may have been that as a child, but by age 6, we begin to be programmed. And we're programmed by all of the people in our lives, their authority figures, including our parents and our family and our ancestors and our church and our whatever, and that programming, if we don't find our true self, we start trying to fit in, and our whole attention is in the outside world instead of the inside world. And then we're out here, at least the way I found myself, as I was out here trying to find the inside world. That's really difficult. It's a difficult way to go, but it's also part of the learning of what happens in the outside world. And then saying, but I'm not happy with that. That's not what I want. And then what I'm finding is, as we get into this inside world, we are shown what they're like. It's like a cloudiness that comes around that inside world, or that true self. It's kind of it's not so much a barrier as it is mindsets and beliefs and living up to shoulds and musts and all of that kind of thing. And so it's a whole process, which is part of our transformation. It's just say, that's not me. Oh, that's me. and be able to heal and release all of the things that aren't who we are in our truth, in our inner self, in our authenticity. And then it is really also a process of healing trauma, because I don't care who you are, you've had trauma. I call it personal PTSD because I think we all have that. We are still attached to things in our life that were very impactful. And somebody else might look at that and say, well, that's no big deal. But that was a big deal for each of us. And so we have to deal with that in order to be able to come to who we really are without the trauma that's been there. And I'm sure you're here too, Pam, but I also believe that we bring in with us things that have happened in other lifetimes. And those things have to be healed too. And
Absolutely does. Yep.
Yeah, I also find that we have been told that we are at the mercy of our DNA and our ancestors and all that. I do not believe that. I have seen too many times when we have done the work to change. And, they say there is the junk DNA, or at least they used to. Well, the junk DNA is just what is not turned on in the DNA. So I have a process of helping people turn off what they don't want, that's not them, and turn on what they do want, and that is them.
That's excellent. Yay. So we are definitely on the same page, you and I together.
I knew we were.
Yeah. So here's the thing, folks. The reason that this show exists, the Empower Me show, is because I, as a host, want to empower you, the listener, to find your own empowerment for you. I am not a guru. Not just as Arlene was talking about. She's not a guru. She's simply a way shower, an illuminator, a path shower. She's got a whole lot of wisdom to share because she's been through stuff. I've got a whole lot of wisdom to share because I've been through stuff. And only you know inside of yourself what you get to experience for you and what turns you on, if you will, right? If it's not color, if it's not chakras, if it's not crystals, if it's not the planets and the stars, it's something in you that wants to be explored as a human being having a spiritual experience and a spiritual being having a human experience. You get to find out what those things are for yourself. We've got our toolboxes that say, okay, here's what I got for you. Here's some more information for you. Do you want to take it with you? And you want to try it out? Try it out and see if it works. If it doesn't, and you want to try something else, then come back next week and we'll show you something different, right? That's why I have all of these different people on this show for you, the listener. So with all of that you just shared, oftentimes, especially for folks when they come on the show, it's a great time to check in with the collective that is listening or will be listening to this broadcast and share something or give something that would be helpful for them or that they're seeking, whether it's a meditation or a visualization or a card or a tool or something that could be helpful for them at this time. Is there something that is coming to mind for you that you'd like to share?
You and I had talked about the cards that I have and which you now have too. And I thought I could pick a card for people. We could pick it in general, but I would love to pick it for individuals if that's possible.
That's great. So folks, we would love to have you connect with us. And if you would like a card, then would be the time to call in and ask for a card for yourself and have a reading. So you can call 1-800-930-2819 and you can reach Arlene or myself, and Arlene is offering her cards for you to experience, and that's awesome. I can also do a channeled message for you if you want that as well, but Arlene is the one that is the focus for today, and so I'd love to have her cards shared. Any of you that want to call in or write in the chat, hey, I'd love to experience a reading or get a card, or if you have a question that you want answered, that's another way to receive. So now would be a great time for you to do that. And in the meantime, we can, okay, so here's a way to start. So for those people that they might just be starting out. They might have come on to this show and were like, I don't even know what's happening here, but this is kind of interesting. And they might not be very far along on their awakening. What would you say to them? Let's say somebody that you met at the psychic fairs, because that's where you and I met, or somebody that found your website and they're like, what is this all about? And they have questions. What would you say to them?
Well, one of the things that I do is to talk about the tools, because I'm in the same wavelength you are, and that is the tools are for them to find out for themselves. And when it comes to the cards, that's exactly how I use the cards, is for them to find out for themselves what is going on. So, and these cards and these tools are extensions of each person. It's not as if you're going outside of yourself to get the answers. These are ways for you to find out what's happening inside of you and hear your guidance from inside of you. And one of the things that I find is people who are just starting out may have had old programming that says, oh, this is really witches, or which I call natural knowers. And they might say, oh, this is scary, and it will, be not right for me or something. Well, if that's where you're at, try something else. But it's partly why I did color, because we're all familiar with color. Color is not something that's tarot might not be what somebody even knows anything about. But color is something we know about. I mean, I can say a color and I can say to somebody, what do you feel with that color? What does that color mean to you? And I once had someone that was in my beginning color course, and she said, well, it was red. And she said, oh, it's about blood. And then as we got into it, that was a trauma of hers. So it's like sometimes the things that we see in the colors are there to help take us on a little journey that will help us see how we can heal ourselves.
I got that. So the thing that occurs to me right now is the luminary cards. It would be great to ask the cards, or ask your guidance for a luminary card for the collective right now that you could show the luminary card that comes up for the collective, and then talk a little bit about what that is all about for them.
Okay, and first of all, I want you to see that there are many, many designs. So this is not just picking one thing. This is really feeling the energy for everything that's going on right now. And these are mandalas, in that they have repeated pictures or ways of looking at things. And they are repeated in certain amount of repetitions, like a 10 or a 9 or an 8 or something. And that, for some people, is significant as well. Not everybody works with the numbers in that way. But let's just see what is up for us today. I love it. This is called Crown.
That's beautiful.
And whoops, I've got something that came up in the middle here, and I got to get rid of it. Oops. All right, I'm on back. Okay, so what I want to do is read a little bit from Crown, because this was a process of a friend, Lorinda Eileen, who did the art, and she did it based on things that I gave to her that were either some writing or a picture or an actual object. And then I wrote what was a part of that. So it's the art and the writing that brings the message and has the vibration. So I want to do a little bit of both here so you get a chance to feel that. Now this one, as you can see, has yellow in it, has white in it. And if you can see in there, there's a little bit of a green at the center and some a greenish blue that goes around that. So if I was just reading the colors of this, and it's a golden yellow, yellow is in the solar plexus and has to do with how you feel about yourself in this human life. How do you show up? And are you showing up in your sense of yourself, or are you showing up because somebody else said that's how you have to be, or you think that's how you have to be in the world? And when it goes into gold, because I have two different sets of colors, there are 6 that are similar to the chakras, and then there are 6 that are in between, sort of like the black notes on a piano. And so gold is one of those that's in between. And I find that to be deep wisdom. So there's deep wisdom, but there's also a sense of knowing yourself in this human life. And white is, for me, is about light, which has all the colors together. So it's all the possibilities of light. And when you get the lighter colors here, the blue or the turquoise, they're not turquoise, they're very, very light, or the green, these are more about how are you expressing yourself? Are you expressing who you really are? Are you coming from the heart, which is the green? And are you finding who you truly are? So here's what came through for this card. This is your time to be recognized. Will you boldly accept the crown of awakening, not as one who stands above others, but as one who shares in the journey of becoming fully present and accepts responsibility for living a unique contribution? So that message is usually for those of us that have been on this journey for a long time, but it's also an awakening for people that are just coming to this. And this is what's needed in the world. We have to accept that we are here as way showers, all of us. We have to accept that each one of us is unique and each of us has a genius that we bring to this game of life. And we need to find that and accept that and rejoice in that, because I find too many people who just they say, oh yeah, but they kind of step aside from who they are. I think self-love is saying, yes, that's what I'm here for. Yes, that's who I am, and I am awakening. And it comes from the deepest part inside of us. And when it does, that means that there is no hubris to it. There is no, yeah, I'm the big cheese. No, this is about, I get it. I'm this soul and form, as you were talking about. And this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here to do. And then I believe in patting yourself on the back, because the human part of you said, oh, that's hard, but I'll do it. and it takes a human saying yes, because it's not going to happen unless we say yes to it.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that.
Well,
Yeah. So as soon as you said crown, I went, oh, we have our crown up here, right?
Yep.
And as babies, they have that soft spot at the top, at the crown chakra, the 7th chakra, which what I was told and what I understand is that that's because babies are open. They're wide open. They are the closest to source when they are first born. And then over time, that soft spot calcifies and the veil of forgetfulness comes over us so that we can have this journey of remembering who we are, remembering that we are connected, fully connected to God's source, fully connected to who we are, fully connected to our soul self, fully connected to the knowing. That's the journey of humanity. And all of these different tools that we all get to experience gets us back to that place of knowing, gets us back to that place of who we are. And those beautiful cards, this one card that was pulled for all of us, is showing us that, showing us all of the different parts of us with all the different spokes of that and the colors, right? We get to come from our solar plexus, which is our power center with the yellow. And then I also noticed that at the edges of the stars of the crown, there's pink. There's pink and a little orangey color. So we kind of got both.
Yep. Yep.
Both the pink of the heart, the pink of the one, and also the orange, a little bit of orange in there too. So we got gold and we got yellow and we got orange and we got pink. It's all coming together with the white. The white is illuminating outwards so that we can remember, oh, source. Source exists. Source is in me, source is in you, source is in all things. And we get to remember who we are. And these beautiful cards are a wonderful way to invoke that inner world for each of us. So thank you for sharing that, Arlene.
Can I
That's
read
beautiful.
one little bit more that's on here? Do we have time for that? Okay.
Of course.
So this is, I call this a reflection on crown. It is time. The preparation is complete. Will you gratefully accept the crown? Its halo signifies your inner awakening. Its brilliance declares the oneness of all. Step forward, accept the divine intention to create in and through a world come of age.
That's great. I love that. Super. So, so if people want to work with you, what's the best way for them to do that? Is it to go to your website?
Yeah. On the website, it's transformationaltools.com. And you can go to, if you go to our store, on the right-hand side, you'll see categories, and parts of that is courses, and then it's the tools like the color cards and luminaries, and it's possibilities for readings and a whole lot of stuff. But I find if you just go through the thing, it's a little confusing. But if you go into the categories, then you can go right to what you're interested in.
Perfect. I love that. So transformationaltools.com, folks. That's how you find Arlene and can connect to her and say, hey, I want a reading. And are you in a place where you want to give something away to someone who calls in? We do still have time, folks, to do that. So if you're one that really wants a something, we got a something that we can give you.
Well, let's just do it, right? As long as they're in the United States. It's really hard for me to send things outside of the United States, but as long as they're in the United States, I'm very willing to give away a set of the luminaries.
Ooh, that's really beautiful. Okay. So those of you who want the luminary cards, get a hold of us either by typing into the chat on Transformation Talk Radio, Transformation Network, or calling us. Numbers on the screen, 1-800-930-2819. And we can get that for you, and you can have it for your own inner journey if that's something you're interested in. I also am available to you if you want to connect with me. You know my energy. If you've been tuning in for a while, you know what is available to you if you want to work with me. I have different tools that are available, but I'm also available to you at any time. And I am working on a course myself that hopefully we'll be looking at getting out very soon, within the next few months. I don't know exactly when, but this is going to be really immersing ourselves into the full body system wellness world and the program that exists with that. And it's really bringing in, we had a gentleman that I had last week who brings in the heavenly bodies and what he calls the higher realms and the lower realms into one. I do really similar work with that by bringing what I call, let's honor and respect and really, really love this human self that we are, because this is our vessel for also bringing in our spiritual selves. So we bring them into a marriage together, and we bring all of those things into one package and looking at all of the different aspects of us and branching out and being able to access all of that. So that's a course that you get to look into, get to be anticipating coming out in the future. And I'd love to talk to you more about that if you want to know more. Again, we are here for you. Everybody that comes on the show is here for you. So, all right, Miss Arlene. So what's something that you are discovering with your looking outward into the outward world that is really pushing up against our humanity, or pushing up against this sense of the inner world that is so sacred to you by yourself, but also all of us as a collective?
You know, one of the things I presented this new information that it's not new, you know, nothing's new, but I'm seeing it in a certain perspective. I presented to Unity Church here. I am still involved in church, but it's very different to me now than it was. We had talked about it after the gathering. And one of the things that one woman said is, because I was asking, what does it feel like to be in your inner world? And she said, I feel safe. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so important, because so many people do not feel safe out in the world, you know? And so to feel that safety, and then for me, this is just how I see it, and people are going to see it in their own way. But I just see myself in the inner world, and it's almost like looking through a telescope or something. And I'm looking out at the outer world. And in that outer world, then, is where I do whatever it is that is next for me in terms of my life and in terms of following what my purpose is. And what that does is, as you were talking about earlier, how we manifest, we attract to us that which feeds our soul and that which allows us to do what we came here to do. And we can be in this chaotic world without being overcome by it. Or I have some people I've been working with that have panic attacks. And you can't do what you want to do if you're in the midst of a panic attack. So it's learning how to work with the ways to heal that kind of stuff, but also how can you make sure that you're receiving, which is what the inside world is, the feminine world. And that's where we receive guidance and we receive understanding. And then there's the outside world in which we act and in which we do what it is here for us to do. And that's our masculine energy. Well, for so long, the masculine energy has been a very old energy that's about power and greed. And now, as we come from this inner place, we begin to live the outer world, from a combination of what we have received and what we are here to give.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. All right, so let's do a little bit of creation here. So for those people that are experiencing a lot of fear and a lot of chaos in their outer world, would you like to take them through a little bit of a visualization or meditation to
Sure.
be able to affect their outer world from their inner world?
Yeah, what I would like to do first is to bring them. We all pick up things from everywhere we are. So I've taken something I got from someone else, and I think it's a simple way to take us into our inner world. And what I want to tell people is your inner world may be in different places in your body. Some people, it might be the third eye. Some people, it might be the throat. Some people, it might be the heart. And some people, it might be the solar plexus. It just depends on where your focus is right now within your inner world. But hang on, just a second.
While we're waiting for...
I'm back. Sorry.
Are you back? That was fast. Okay.
A little bit of noise that I wanted to take care of. So, yeah, it's this one that I'm going to take you through takes you into this inner part through the third eye and back between the pineal and the pituitary, and then drops us down into wherever our inside world is. Because if you start thinking about it, it's hard to get there.
Yeah.
But if you can visualize that, then you can get there fairly easily.
So for those of you who are brainiacs, the pituitary and the pineal are just think middle of brain, just think middle of the head, just go all the way straight back and you'll get there.
Yeah. And it's really right above the top of the spine. So, the spine comes up and this is, the middle of that is just above that.
Great.
And then from there, what we will do is feel that. And then we will, I'll offer you an opportunity to begin to see with inner eyes from your inside world out to your outside world without any, it has to be done without any judgment, without any preconceived ideas. This is the place where we can be totally at peace within ourselves and what we're doing as we're coming from that inner peace.
That's perfect. And I think that's a really great way to end our show. We have about 5 to 7 minutes left-ish right now. So
Well, we'll make this fairly simple because I think it's a good place to start.
Yeah. And then we'll wind it down perfectly and let you guys go for your day. But this is a great way to really end our time together and give you a sense of Arlene's work. So the floor is yours, my dear.
Okay. So I would like to do what you did at the beginning, and that is just have us take some deep breaths. And as we're breathing in, just allow the shoulders then to drop down as you breathe out. And begin to feel your body you're completely in your body, all the way to the bottoms of your feet and up to the top of your head. And you're feeling this one that you are in this body. And so now what we want to do is take our attention in front of the third eye, just in front of your forehead, and move your attention back through the head until you get into the middle of the head where you're just above your spine. And then from there, just drop down into your center. Be in that center that is who you are in your true self. And feel yourself as you come down. Some people see it like an elevator, but however you want to do, and have yourself stop wherever that is for you. And then just stay there for a moment and feel that. What does it feel like to be in the energy of your true self, of who you really are? And just feel that. What does that feel like? And then what we're going to do as you feel that is just, you can use it like binoculars or however we all have the ability to see outside of the body. So just allow yourself to be in the energy of who you are, and then to be looking out on your life. And as you see your life through that lens, feel the energy of that. Is that a peaceful energy? Is that a chaotic energy? Is that difficult? Is it easy to be there? And then feel, how is that different when you are focused in your inner world and you're looking out to your outer world? Does it feel easier then to move into that outer world and know that you can continue to be you from the center of who you are? And then just know that this is what's most natural. This is who we are. We are this soul and form. And what you're feeling in there is your soul self, the part of you, the part of your soul that's here in form. And what you're then choosing out in the world can be from that. So now, just with your intention, if this feels right for you, is just say, I intend to be focused from my inside world out. And I intend to be my most authentic self in a world that can sometimes seem difficult. And in the process of that, I am discerning how to be there in a safe way, in a loving way, in a way that really allows me to create my life as I truly desire. And so it is, and so it shall be. It is done.
So here we are back. So that was beautiful. Thank you.
Welcome.
And for those of you who did that little exercise with us, I will share my experience with you so that you can get a sense of what is possible. Now, you might not be a person that sees something. You might have heard something or felt something or had a color that flashed before your inner world or something. You had some sensations that happened. And so validate that, know that that's perfect for you. For me, what was beautiful is that when I connected into that space inside of myself, what I saw was this beautiful golden stairwell. It was a staircase and then this light at the top of the staircase. And when I looked out from there, I saw my husband, who currently is having some challenges in his own life and in our lives together. And that's just the way it is, right? Somebody in your life you probably have a challenge with or is having a challenge themselves. And what was great is that I was actually invited him to come into my world with me. So I took his hand and I said, would you like to come into my inner world? And so I invited him into my vision, into my sacred sanctuary inside of myself. So that's my invitation to you that are listening, is rather than, oh, I've got to change everything out there and it's so hard and oh my God, right? All of our judgments are going. Invite whoever's around you to invite them into your inner core. And I know it's precious, and I know that it's yours, and I know that it's your sacred space. And I promise you, if there's one person, just one person that you're willing to share that sacred space with, your world will transform. I promise you that. So thank you so much, Arlene, for that visualization and for that meditation. And please, folks, if you want to connect with Arlene and you want to work with her, go to her website at transformationaltools.com and connect with her and look at what she has to offer you, because there's a lot. There's 30 plus years of transformation that's happened in Arlene's life. And there's 30 plus years in my life that you can also connect to by going to brightbutterflynetwork.com and connecting in with me. And you know what? We're here for you. So whatever you need, it's about asking. It's about saying yes to your life. It's about saying yes to support. It's about not continuing to do life alone, because you don't have to. Your life is up to you. We absolutely love you, and we are here for you. So please know that you can connect to the divine guidance that's already within you. You can connect to anybody that is in your world that's waiting for you to support you. So we love you, and have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Thank you, Pam.
Blessings to you. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright on Transformation Talk Radio. Tune in to learn more about living a fully empowered life. Remember that your life is up to you, and you can choose the spiritual path you are on. There is spiritual energy and wisdom in everything and everyone around you. Listen carefully for what the universe is trying to tell you in every moment. You are already being guided along your journey. Call upon your spirit guides anytime you need help with anything. Know that you are safe in every moment, even if it seems that you are not. For more information about Pam Bright, visit brightbutterflyenterprises.com or email theempowermeshow@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you next week.